Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at a single source.
Okay.
It's an episode from the Money Moves podcast, and we're going to be uncovering 15 surprising things that separate the wealthy from everybody else, and get ready to rethink some common assumptions because these habits go way beyond the usual budget and invest advice.
Yeah.
It's really all about how the wealthy think about money.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. The source dives deep into mindset,
Okay.
suggesting that achieving financial success isn't just about
Okay.
external actions,
Right.
but also these internal shifts as well.
Internal shifts. Okay, so let's jump right into it. The first few points from the Money Moves podcast
Okay.
really hammer home the importance of playing the long game.
Yeah.
They contrast short-term thinking with long-term investment.
Right.
And the wealthy are all about delaying gratification.
Yeah, it's not about deprivation, though.
Yeah.
It's more about understanding the power of compounding.
Mm-hmm.
So, imagine skipping that daily $5 latte and investing it instead.
Okay.
Over time, that seemingly small amount could grow significantly thanks to the magic of compound interest.
Oh, wow. It's like planting an acorn that becomes a mighty oak tree. Providing shade and shelter for years to come.
Exactly.
Versus enjoying just a single fleeting flower.
Exactly. And this principle applies not just to money, but to knowledge and skills as well.
Okay.
The wealthy are constantly investing in their own growth,
Okay.
recognizing that knowledge compounds over time, leading to greater opportunities and a higher earning potential.
Okay, speaking of earning, the podcast really digs into the difference between working for money and making money work for you.
Yeah.
They stress the importance of building assets, things like dividend-paying stocks,
Mm-hmm.
rental properties, or online businesses that generate passive income
Great.
even while you sleep.
It's about breaking free from that traditional time for money trap
Right.
and creating systems that work for you 24/7.
Wow.
The wealthy understand that true financial freedom comes from having your money work as hard as you do.
I love that. So it's not just about earning more, it's about building systems that generate income, whether you're clocking in or on vacation.
Absolutely.
Now, to build those systems effectively, the Money Moves podcast emphasizes the
Yeah.
importance of investing in self-education.
Yeah, remember that famous Warren Buffett quote?
I don't know.
The best investment you can make is in yourself.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking about continuously learning and expanding your skill set.
Okay.
So, for example, becoming financially literate opens up a whole new world of investment opportunities.
Right.
Maybe you learn the ins and outs of real estate.
Okay.
Or master the art of building an online business.
Oh, that makes so much sense. The
Yeah.
more you know, the more opportunities you see.
Exactly.
And the better equipped you are to capitalize on them.
Yes.
It's like sharpening your axe before you go chop wood.
Mhm.
You'll be so much more effective.
Absolutely. And the beauty of it is that knowledge compounds too.
Okay.
The more you learn, the easier it becomes to learn even more,
Right.
opening up a world of possibilities.
And to navigate that world successfully, the podcast talks about the impact of surrounding themselves with negative influences. The wealthy are extremely selective about their social circle,
Right.
choosing to spend time with people who inspire and challenge them to grow.
Yeah, think about it. Your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
If you're constantly surrounded by naysayers and negativity, it's going to drag you down and limit your potential.
It's like that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Exactly.
So choose your 5 wisely.
Exactly. Seek out mentors. Connect with successful entrepreneurs. Surround yourself with individuals who are already living the life you aspire to create.
Okay.
Their energy, their mindset, and their experience can be incredibly contagious.
This is so true. I've noticed that in my own life, too. Being around ambitious-driven people really pushes me to level up my own game.
Absolutely.
And while we're talking about taking control, the podcast highlights how blaming external factors can be a major roadblock to success.
It's so easy to fall into the trap of playing the victim,
Right.
blaming the economy, the government, or even our upbringing for our lack of progress.
Okay. But the wealthy, according to the Money Moves podcast, they take a different approach.
They do.
They focus on what they can control. Their own actions, their own mindset, and their own decisions.
It's about having an internal locus of control,
Okay.
believing that you have the power to shape your destiny,
Right.
rather than being at the mercy of external circumstances.
I love that shift in perspective.
Yeah,
It's empowering to realize that we're not just passengers on this ride, we're the ones behind the wheel.
absolutely.
Now let's shift gears and dive into how the wealthy handle money.
Okay.
Because it's definitely not what you might expect. The Money Moves podcast states that spending more than they earn is a surefire way to stay stuck in the financial rat race.
The wealthy, on the other hand, prioritize living below their means, even as their income grows. This doesn't mean they live a life of deprivation. Right. It's about making conscious choices.
Right. They're not flashing their cash on fancy cars and designer clothes.
Right.
They're investing it in assets that will generate long-term wealth and security.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about delaying gratification and prioritizing financial freedom over fleeting pleasures.
I see.
And speaking of fleeting pleasures, the podcast calls out impulse buying and consumer debt as two major pitfalls to avoid.
It's so easy to get caught up in the moment.
It is.
Especially with all the tempting buy now, pay later schemes out there.
But the wealthy are incredibly deliberate with their purchases.
Right.
They avoid unnecessary debt like the plague and think long-term about the consequences of their spending habits.
They're not saying no to everything.
Right.
But they're definitely asking themselves, do I really need this?
Yeah.
Or am I just being swayed by a clever marketing?
It's about being a conscious consumer.
Okay.
Not a mindless spender. And that ties in perfectly with the next point.
Okay.
The importance of financial planning.
Yeah.
The wealthy don't just wing it when it comes to their money. They have a plan.
They track their income and expenses, set financial goals, and invest strategically to ensure they're on track to reach their desired destination.
It's like having a roadmap for your financial journey.
Exactly. Without a plan, you're essentially driving blind, hoping for the best, but not really in control of where you end up.
Yeah, and speaking of control, the podcast explores a fascinating concept.
Okay.
Viewing money as scarce.
Okay.
It suggests that many people operate from a scarcity mindset, believing that there's only so much money to go around.
Okay. The wealthy, however, have an abundance mindset.
They do.
They see money as a tool, a resource that is readily available, and they believe in their ability to create more of it.
That's such a powerful distinction.
It's almost like they're playing a different game with a completely different set of rules.
It is.
Instead of worrying about scarcity, they're focused on creating value and abundance, knowing that the more value they create, the more abundance they'll attract.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way.
Wow.
If you believe that money is scarce, you'll likely act in ways that perpetuate that scarcity.
Okay.
But if you cultivate an abundance mindset, you open yourself up to new possibilities and opportunities.
That's incredibly inspiring.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that our beliefs about money can actually shape our reality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our thoughts create our reality.
Right.
So if we want to attract more abundance into our lives, we need to start by shifting our internal landscape.
That's a great place to pause for now. We've covered the first 8 of the 15 things separating the wealthy from everyone else. When we come back, we'll dive into the remaining 7, exploring more of those life lessons and mindsets for growth.
I can't wait to uncover those. Welcome back. Ready to explore the remaining 7 insights from the Money Moves podcast. It's like we're getting a cheat sheet for leveling up our financial game.
Absolutely. We've already unpacked so much about how the wealthy think differently about money. It's fascinating. Where do we go from here?
Well, the podcast emphasizes how the wealthy prioritize education over entertainment. While everyone needs downtime presence, successful people tend to invest their time in learning and personal development rather than just passively consuming entertainment.
So instead of binge-watching the latest series, maybe we should pick up a book on investing or listen to a podcast about entrepreneurship.
Exactly. Think of it this way. You can spend 2 hours watching a show and escape reality for a bit, or you can spend those same 2 hours learning a new skill that could potentially increase your income or open up new career opportunities.
It's all about investing your time wisely for maximum return, just like we talked about earlier with money.
Precisely. And speaking of investments, the podcast challenges the common fear of failure. They suggest that the wealthy embrace failure as a stepping stone to success.
That's a big shift from how most people view failure.
It is. But think about it. Every successful entrepreneur has faced setbacks and failures along the way. The difference is they don't let those failures define them. They see them as valuable feedback, an opportunity to learn, adjust, and come back stronger.
So it's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it and using it as fuel to propel us forward.
Exactly. It's like that famous Thomas Edison quote, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He didn't give up. He kept experimenting and iterating until he found the solution. That's the power of resilience.
This really resonates with me. I've had my share of setbacks in my own career, and it's those experiences that have taught me the most valuable lessons.
It's all part of the journey. And speaking of journeys, the podcast highlights how waiting for the right time can be another major obstacle to success.
We've all been there. I'll start investing when I have more money, or I'll launch my business when the timing is perfect.
But the truth is, there's no such thing as the perfect time. There will always be reasons to delay, to procrastinate, to wait for a better moment.
The wealthy, according to the Money Moves podcast, understand that action creates opportunity. They don't wait for the stars to align. They make things happen.
It's about being proactive, not passive.
Yeah.
Taking calculated risks and recognizing that even if things don't go perfectly according to plan, you'll learn valuable lessons along the way.
And those lessons are often more valuable than any textbook could ever teach you.
Absolutely. Experience is the best teacher, and the wealthy embrace this by taking action even when it's scary or uncomfortable.
So the next time we find ourselves procrastinating or waiting for the perfect time, we should ask ourselves, what action can I take right now to move closer to my goal?
Exactly. Even a small step can create momentum and lead to unexpected opportunities. And this brings us to another fascinating insight from the podcast, focusing on problems, not solutions. They point out that while most people dwell on what's wrong, the wealthy focus on finding solutions.
Instead of getting bogged down by obstacles, they use their creativity and resourcefulness to overcome them.
Think of it this way. Every problem is an opportunity in disguise.
So true. I love that perspective shift. Instead of seeing a roadblock as the end of the road, we can view it as a detour that leads us to a new and potentially even better path.
Precisely. And that's what separates the wealthy from the rest. They don't just complain about problems, they see them as challenges to overcome, puzzles to solve, and opportunities to innovate.
And by finding solutions, they create value not just for themselves, but for others as well.
Which leads perfectly into the final point from the Money Moves podcast, the importance of giving back. They highlight how philanthropy is a common thread among the world's most successful people.
It's not just about accumulating wealth for themselves, it's about using their resources to make a positive impact on the world.
It's like the saying goes, to whom much is given, much is required. The wealthy understand that they have a responsibility to use their success to help others, to give back to their communities, and to leave a legacy that extends beyond their own lives.
I love that. It's a beautiful reminder that true wealth isn't just about money, it's about making a difference in the world.
Absolutely. It's about using your unique talents, skills, and resources to create a ripple effect of positivity that extends far beyond yourself.
So as we wrap up this exploration of the 15 things separating the wealthy from everyone else, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What has resonated most deeply with you?
For me, it's the recurring theme of mindset. The podcast really drives home the point that our beliefs about money, success, and even ourselves can have a profound impact on our outcome.
It's so true. Our mindset is like a filter through which we experience the world. If we're operating from a place of scarcity, fear, and limitation, we're likely to attract more of those things into our lives.
But if we cultivate a mindset of abundance, possibility, and empowerment, we open ourselves up to a whole new world of opportunity.
It's a powerful reminder that we have the power to choose our thoughts. And by doing so, we can shape our reality. You know, as we've been going through these 15 points from the Money Moves podcast, I'm realizing how many of them are interconnected.
I think so too. It creates a really powerful framework when you look at them all together.
Yeah, it's like they all build upon each other, like we were talking about investing in self-education.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that can directly impact who we surround ourselves with.
Oh, absolutely. As you learn more and gain skills, you're going to meet new people too.
Yeah, and maybe a different caliber of people.
Exactly, like mentors and entrepreneurs.
Yes, people who can challenge you.
People who inspire you to grow.
It's like leveling up in a video game.
I like that analogy.
You gain experience and unlock new areas with new challenges and rewards.
Yeah, and then as you go through all those levels, you become more resilient and adaptable.
Right. And that brings us back to embracing failure.
Yeah.
The Money Moves podcast really emphasized how successful people see setbacks as opportunities, not as reasons to give up.
Every entrepreneur has faced so many setbacks.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And rejections and failures.
But they learn from those.
Yeah, they use those experiences to come back stronger.
So it's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it.
Exactly.
And using it as fuel to keep going.
It makes you stronger.
Right. It's like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, but you also become more resourceful and innovative.
That's true. So instead of fearing failure, we can welcome it as a teacher.
Absolutely.
As a guide on our path to success.
It's all part of the journey.
And as we shift our perspective on failure, we can be more mindful about what we're telling ourselves.
Right.
The Money Moves podcast highlighted the importance of an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
Believing that there is enough for everyone.
That's powerful.
And that we have the power to create wealth and success.
I love that.
So we shift our focus from scarcity to possibility.
Yeah.
From limitation to opportunity.
And from fear to faith.
It's like updating our internal software to get rid of old beliefs.
Exactly.
And install new and empowering ones.
And then we have to actually take action.
Right. The podcast talked about not just thinking differently, but acting differently.
That's a good point.
The wealthy don't procrastinate. They take advantage of opportunities.
They make things happen.
And they take calculated risks.
Action creates momentum.
Yes, and momentum leads to results.
Exactly. So take that first step.
Even if it's a small one.
Yeah, even a small step can create a ripple effect.
And lead to new opportunities.
Be intentional about who you're with.
Surround yourself with good people.
People who will support your growth.
Mentors and successful people.
Yes, your network is your net worth.
And don't forget to give back.
That's important.
The Money Moves podcast talked about how philanthropy is a common thread among the wealthy.
It's about making a difference.
It is. Using our success to impact the world.
Our actions have ripple effects.
Exactly. So whether it's donating or volunteering...
or just helping someone in need.
All of that makes a difference.
We can use our resources and talents to create a better world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the 15 things separating the wealthy from everyone else, I want to leave you with this. It's not about comparing ourselves to others.
No, it's about personal growth.
It's about the journey and that we all have the potential to be successful.
These ideas are for everyone.
So take these insights to heart.
Yeah.
Start implementing them in your life.
And you'll see amazing things.
Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
What will yours be?
Thanks for joining us. We look forward to exploring more with you soon.